Hello everybody, Cody here, BOSSposes, and today I'm just going to show you guys how to animate the camera inside of Blender. So I've been getting a lot of questions about how to do this, so I'm going to show you today, and this is actually a lot easier than you may think it is. So I'm going to show you a few ways how we can do this. So the first thing you obviously want to do is start with your camera. I recommend just to give this a try out, just open Blender, just import a camera, add a cube so you can see what you're doing, and then we'll start from there. So I already have this Star Wars thing because I am doing an animation. I figured this would be a great time to show you guys how to do this. So I'm going to show you guys a few techniques on how to use the camera first, and then we're going to go in and how to easily animate this in a few different ways. So once you add your camera and you select it in your hierarchy up here, you can actually press Insert on your keyboard with your mouse in the default view. So make sure your mouse is inside of the screen view. Then press Insert and you'll go into your camera. So if you ever get lost and you're outside in the world, something like that, you can just easily hit Insert and you're back inside your camera. And you can also use this as a point of interaction. So if you have a lot going on here and you need to animate and you get lost, you can go back here. And then what you can do is hit the middle mouse button. And then what you can do is just get out of the camera that way so you can see your camera. And this will actually allow you to animate this any other way that you want like this. But I'm going to show you a much easier way to do this. And this is called fly mode. So a lot of people don't even know this exists. And this basically makes your camera able to work like a first-person shooter or any video game that you technically see. So I have my key bound to my thumb button. So when I go ahead and I press my thumb button and I move my mouse, you notice then I can move around just like it's a video game, so I can look around in the world and stuff like that. And if I press WASD, I can move, shift to run just like a video game, except I'm flying. So if you're used to creative mode in Minecraft, this will feel very familiar to you. So I'm going to show you very quickly how to animate. So let's get this into position. So I do want to have a view like this. But I'm also going to show you where to find the hotkey if you want to change it to like that. So let's go into your prefences. So let me just make sure that opens up for you guys. I'm just going to go in and add that window because OBS can be a little finicky. But there we go. There's the window for you. And we're going to bring that up. And what you want to do is go over into your navigation preference. So, or sorry, what is it called again? Input, sorry. Yeah, you want to go into your input. We're going to go down, scroll. I got my options all messed up here, so let me just find where my hotkeys are. Okay. Okay, you're going to go into your prefences, and then what you want to do is go into your key map, and then what you want to do is up where the little magnifying glass is, you just want to type fly, and you're going to see this view navigation / walk and fly. So you want to make sure you set the second one to whatever you want the key to be. So you can, since insert is go into camera view, just make it like delete or something like that, so you always have the two keys next to each other. But having it on the mouse is actually a really good idea. And then what you want to do is go in and you want to save your prefences down in the gear. So there's usually an option down there, but since this is a secondary window, you won't see that right now. Okay, so let's close that off for now. And then what we're going to do is get into the animation on the stage here. So let's make sure, so just tuck that away. We got our camera in place. So again, you just press whatever key it is that you set and you can move around like a first-person shooter, right? So we're going to set this. We're going to bring up our timeline now. We're going to hit the auto keyframe button, and what we're going to do just to start is nudge it. So just move the camera, and you're going to notice that it adds a keyframe down here in the timeline. As long as we have this blue dot active, whatever we do will add a keyframe for our movement, okay? So keep that in mind. So what we're actually going to do is just hit the play head and keep track of where this is going, because we do want it to be kind of like a slow pan. So you can move it up to 60, and then what you can do is just hit your key again, and then you could pan over. And if you notice that when I play it back, the camera is fully animated. And say if I were to get out of my keyframe view, you'll notice that the camera does turn. So that is fully animated already. So I'm just going to go back into my key view, play that back. And as you see, that's still a little too fast. So I'm just going to go back again. But I want this to be a straight pan sideways. So we're going to use the WASD instead of using the mouse to turn. So we're going to change its actual position rather than the rotation. So I'm going to go up to, say, about 100. I'm going to hold my key, and I'm just going to tap over on my keys like so until I get a place that I want. And you'll notice that when I play it back forward that we are panning across the screen, right? That still might be a little bit too fast, so even what I could do is go to the 100, hit the key, and then I could just push this back a little bit, right? And then that'll look like it's a little bit slower, so. Okay, and I'm going to show you another really trick if you want to use the same camera for two different shots, so you do not need to make a second camera to get another shot into your scene. What you want to do is go over one frame, press I on your keyboard, and then hit location, rotation, and scale, and you're going to notice it's going to add one of the exact same keyframe right here on frame 1. Okay, so we want to have the same keyframe that's on this. So if I pressed I and added that, you usually get this yellow bar as you see. That means two of the frames are the same. And then we're going to go one frame after that, and then you can put your key or your camera wherever you like. So I want to get a cool shot of this statue. Like that, and then again we can just move up in the timeline and then just pan our camera like that. So as you see now our camera changes, and we're only using one camera to do this. So if I play this back in real time, that can be extremely useful if you're getting multi-scene. So a lot of people get confused on how to do two different shots. Do I do one shot then export it? You could do that, or you could do multiple shots within one scene first and then export 4 of them. And then what I usually do is take this last keyframe here and I delete anything before it, and then I'll move this last keyframe to the beginning so I start right where this animation ended, right? So let's go back again. I'm going to show you a couple more methods on how we can animate this camera. So I'm going to delete all of that. So now we're back at the beginning, okay? So let's get out of our camera by pressing the middle mouse button, and I'm going to go up to 100, and I'm going to use these transform keys that are over at the side. You can do this as well if you want to do it manual, or if you want to put it onto like a curve or whatever. Sorry, I got a sky box that's around it. That's an actual object of the sky in the background. But anyway, so let's get out of the camera view, and then we went up 100 frames, and then let's just push this frame over like that. And the next thing you're going to know when we play the animation back is that the camera is moving, right? So that's 2 ways you can do it, and you can also bring that up and down if you really wanted to. So now you see it goes on an angle. You can even edit the frames that are in between. So if I didn't want it to go up on such a steep angle, I could actually just push that down first so it goes over. That can be a little tedious because you want to know exactly where it is. I do have an add-on I'm developing that shows you the motion path of everything. I know there's a default motion path you can view, but we'll do that in a more advanced tutorial because it has a lot to do with more onion skinning and all that stuff. So as you see, we got a bit more of a curve on this. And another thing you can do as well is attach your camera to a Bezier curve, which we will do in a more advanced tutorial as well. You do not need that if you have this walk and fly. This works a lot easier. But if you're flying a ship and chasing a car or something, I recommend you use a curve, but then you got to modify the speeds and stuff like that. So again, if we play this back, you'll notice that the camera moves. And then if you wanted to, you could even add a pan into the motion, so you could do 2 motions at once. And then say if I wanted this panned off like that. So now the camera moves and the view, right? So now we have a good, nice, smooth position. And then what you could do is do these fast motions. So say if I were to do a pan, right? So let's go back and look at our ship. And I wanted to do a slow pan. So let's actually start not looking at the ship. So we'll start like that, and then we'll go over into like flat frame 100. Then it'll look at the ship, all right? And then what you want to do is go over like an extra 50 frames and then do a micro adjustment, just a very fine adjustment like your old one. So that's going to be what I call a fall off. It's going to look like it's moving slower after its fastest reaction, so it looks more natural. And what you can also do from here as well is add your own camera jitter. So as you see, the camera's still just slightly moving after this final frame. That gives it that more of an influence, right? It looks more natural. Or what we could do is once we get to this frame, right, we could just flutter it around a little bit. So we want to do micro adjustments. So if I zoom in, There's a crosshair in the center, so I'm just going to look up into the corner, go down to the side, back around. You know, you can just add your own camera jitter to it, right? And this will make it look like more of a natural camera, as you see. And it works extremely well. So I've actually been told I have some of the best camera work people have seen just for like beginner animators. And that's solely because I use this method right here. So I highly advise you go in there and do your jitter. There is add-ons you can do, but then again, you're using numbers. You never want a natural movement to be on a value, because a natural movement is never often predicted to be the same, right? So you don't want two values to be the same. So these two shakes aren't 1 to 1, they are like probably 1 to 4, right? So we're going to go from there. So if I play this back, you'll probably see that. And as you see, we got like this natural movement to the camera, and that actually looks really, really good. And again, we can just go one frame over, press I, all custom properties, go one more frame over, and then what we can do is go into the door. And then you can have that door open with a person walking out of it. So what I can do is actually just push these frames up. By the way, that's how you move your frames. You can just do start and end. If you want to start a new shot with a new camera, just start your next and part of the animation right where your last one ended, and then just render that. You'll keep going in a huge chain. But for the meantime, we're going to go like that. So we got the camera changed. So it went from this natural pan into the doorway scene. And then what we can do is actually just kind of zoom in. So now we can just kind of press W like a first-person shooter. And this makes things a lot of fun, is when you're animating with this specific setup with the fly and walk, because animating your camera isn't work. It's like playing a video game. It really is, because you can do some pretty cool things as well. So let me just delete all of that animation, and just to show you like how quickly you can get this done, right? So if you wanted to do like a walk around of your level, you could easily go down like this. So let's just press play and find a good, so about 40. So we're going to do we're going to do about 40. This might be a little fast. Then we want to go a bit more. So now we got this nice little curve. As you see, now we're moving through our level. And we can keep going. We can go even slower. As we're moving on the path too, we could even look at other things. Right? And then we can just scroll out if we need more space. Roll that back. See how easy that is? Like, that's fun to me, right? This is going to look really fast. And, oh, it's not bad, I guess. And then we're going to get a nice little slow shot. Could be people walking by right there. And there could be something going on, a worker right there doing something funny. And then the camera will pan back over into the ship. Right? And then even from here, you could change your next scene. So we're on 335 already. So again, we're going to custom rotation and scale. And then we're going to change the scene entirely to like a good top-down view, the whole thing. So it would be like that. And go all the way to the end. So now we have this whole fly-through, and look how many animations we just did in about 10 minutes. So that's what makes this incredibly useful. So as you see now that we're walking through our scene, and then we should get that scene changed right at that double there in the timeline. And then we got a pan of this. And that's pretty much how you animate your cameras inside of Blender, right? And then what you can actually do is go into your depth of field or your motion blur. You could do all your settings after your camera's animated. So if you notice, if I change my resolution, the camera's going to change. So say if I wanted like a 1080 by 1080, it's not going to affect your animation very much. It's just going to affect your resolution. And a lot of animation software, if you were to change your resolution while the animation, the keyframes are in, because it locks in the size of your camera. Blender, thankfully, only locks in the orientation and the rotation. You can lock in the FOV. We'll go all into that in another tutorial. you're going to be using these bubbles right here at the side. So I could zoom in like that, and then zoom back out. Then we would want it zoomed out here as well. See, now we got an FOV change, and that's how easy that was. And we're going through, and it'll zoom in on that crate, and zoom back in. And then just for example, I could zoom in like this, and I'll add a keyframe. Isn't that cool? Like, that's a lot of fun. So I just got a comment not long ago about asking how to animate a camera, and I hope this helps you guys, because like it's honestly that easy, and you can do so many other things. So if you can do your VFX, your compositing, you got your shader nodes. I am in EV right now, but you can do all of your work inside of your pre-visual. So. And yeah, that's how you animate your camera in Blender. And this is Cody McIntyre. I hope you all liked today's video. If you do, please do like and subscribe. And I will see you all soon. I got plenty of good videos coming. And enjoy your evening. Take care.